So from a previous video, I had adjusted the tension so my bobbin thread came up so I could show the difference. But now I've got an area that I want to re-stitch, and I want to show you how you can back up. I've already gone ahead and started, and then I'm like, oh no, I better go back and restart it. Now, as you can see by the way the letter was formed, it came up and over and then around and then over itself. So if I just want to go ahead and stitch from here to here, I'm going to need to do a little bit of starting and then stopping and getting right to that position. So I'm going to come over to the screen so you can see how to do it. So with the little picture of the needle with the little hopping stitches next to it, the arrow below will take you back stitch by stitch. You can see the counter counting backwards to stitch number 271, 270, and so forth. Each touch, one stitch. If I touch and hold that, you'll notice that those stitches start to jump a little bit faster. And I can see the little cursor moving back through the A, but I need to go ahead and move all the way back through the S. So I'm going to just keep my stylus on that arrow until I get all the way back to where I need to go. Notice the stitches are jumping every 10 stitches here. It's going to move a little bit faster. And really what I'm looking for, I'm watching also on my fabric as my needle is then coming over the top of where I have stitched previously. Now once I get to where I want to be, like this is if your bobbin thread ran out or you broke a thread and it stepped forward a little bit and you need to kind of get back or re-stitch an area like I'm doing now, where I'm just gonna get in a new area. All right, let's see where I am. I'm getting close. And, okay, so now what I'm going to do is bring you back over to the design. I'm getting really close to where it is. I'm going to show you how I tap it into position. All right, so I can kind of see I'm kind of in that area. I'm not all the way down as far as I'll go. I'm just going to do a couple stitches back and forth. I'm going to get it right down to as close as I can. That actually looks good. Now I'm still connected to this stitch, so I'm going to just go ahead and cut my thread here. And once I get ready to go, I can just go ahead and push start. And then of course I don't want to stitch all the way over this. I sure could. That definitely would be the option, is just to stitch over this whole area. But I just really want to stitch this little part. And so I'm going to go ahead and stop it. Nope, a little bit more, a couple stitches until it fills it all the way in there. There we go. I can use the scissors and cut that thread. And now I can go ahead and jump back to where my A is. Now once I get back to where my A is, I don't want to start right on the last stitch I was on. I'm going to actually bring it back at least 1/8 of an inch. And because it went all the way around first and then it went up and then started up here, I might actually work my needle to the very top of this A and then start it again. Then that way that looks like a nice smooth pass all the way through. But can you see any difference? Barely a little thicker, hardly can tell that that's been stitched over, but now that bobbin thread is definitely not showing. So I'm going to just, we'll get you right back to, I'm going to jump forward to my A, and now I'm just arrowing forward through the stitches. Now remember there's underlay stitches, so those stitches that kind of look like they're going through aren't really the stitches. So right now you can see, okay, back, forth, so I know I'm in the satin stitch area. But then it probably stitched this stitching line down and back, and then it went back up to start the fill in. So I'm going to need to watch for that. So I'm going to just keep my stylus on the arrow forward. Also too, you saw me bring the needle down into my fabric so I can really see. Okay, there's a little jump down and see where I am. So there it is, right there at the top. And since I cut my thread, I can hold it, push the scissors. Oh, no, not push the scissors. It's going to do that for me automatically. Push the start stop button. There you go. And then it'll just go ahead and start stitching right over where I left off, and it'll pick up just perfectly into the rest of that letter.